Okay, here we are again. We have Jim on this side and Bill on this side. So we were just listening to Jim tell us about why he's racing under the New Zealand Yacht Squadron at Burgee. Are you actually a club member in California, Jim? Oh,
not in California. We belong to a couple of yacht clubs, but none in California.
all right. And Bill, you're keeping it local with the Encinal Yacht Club.
Yes.
Okay, so how did you two get together to race in this race on that boat?
So Bill's actually the first professional sailor I ever sailed with, longtime Doyle sailmaker. He came out to Chicago, where we were living at the time, to sail on my J109. Made all the sails for that boat for many years, and then when we wanted to step up to something bigger, Bill actually helped me find the Pac 52 that we raced in this event.
How did you find that boat?
So one of my clients had built this boat in 2016. We launched it in 17 and sailed it on the West Coast, primarily in California.
Was she built in California?
No, it was built at Mick Hookson's yard in Auckland.
Auckland, right.
Yeah.
Which comes back to your original story.
Yeah, she's a Udall-Vrolic Pac 52, which just means a little more battle hardened for the kind of conditions that we saw in the past few days.
Okay.
I think we were all pretty happy to be racing in a Pac 52 instead of a Super Series 52, which might not have survived.
Well, I heard from one of your people on board who were doing the washdown that super easy race, according to somebody. I'm not sure whether that was you or them, but I think I was told that, Bill, you were going to say it was really hard.
And we have a lot of guys that have done this race a lot, and we've heard a lot of, stories about what it can be, and I think it sort of lived up to the reputation. It was really tough the first couple of days going upwind in pretty rough conditions, high sea state, pretty windy. It turned into a downwind race. The wind did a 180 turn, and we had a nice couple of nights going downwind down to Storm Bay, and then everything changed again.
Were you intimidated at all? Is this your first Sydney Hobart?
Yes, for both of us.
Were either of you intimidated by the reports that you've read, or?
You mean by the weather forecast?
Well, that in itself, but also past events.
I mean, the Hobart has a reputation as
Definitely
being the hardest 600 miler, and when Bill and I first started thinking about what was next for the team and wanted to go offshore, the goal was to go do the great 600-mile races around the world.
Right.
And this is the top of anybody's list for that. Big reason for that is how challenging the conditions often are. And it's no one thing. It's kind of a combination of anything that you can run into, like Bill was saying. We saw 35 plus knots, and let's call it, just because it's tough to estimate, 6 to 7 meter seas out there, which is amongst the toughest I've ever seen.
Right.
And at the same time, we were on the water with a bunch of Volvo sailors, and they saw much worse in the Southern Ocean than we saw. So you always have to be humble before the weather gods, but it turned out to be exactly as advertised.
So this is the first of your, what did you call it, the top 600 milers?
No, it's actually, we only have one left, which is the Middle Sea race.
Okay.
But we've done the Bermuda, we've done the Caribbean 600, we've done the Transpac race, we've done Pineapple Cup. We're just kind of working our way around.
All right. And so what is each of you, what is your role on the boat for this trip that you just had, the race you just had?
Well, Bill's been a sailmaker to the program from the very beginning. And I mean, more than that, he's a great friend who when we conceptualized this idea, we thought about doing it as a group of friends. And the question was, how can we find a group of world-class offshore professionals to complement the talent that we already had in the group? And Bill's been instrumental in making the introductions that really opened the door to getting folks like Dean Barker and Stu Bannatyne, Justin Ferris, John O'Swain on board. And, again, introduced me to our program manager, Jared Henderson. So
Okay.
He's kind of the linchpin of the social network that is the Callisto team.
Right. And so the team that you sailed with in this race, could you tell me again how many different countries and people did you have aboard? Or people from countries?
I mean, if you include the shore crew, which you have to do, we have the smallest number might actually be Americans. We have a couple of Irish. We have a couple of folks from England. from Wales, from Scotland, from South Africa, Australia, New Zealand. So it's a pretty global group.
Fully international crew.
And one Tassie, which makes this a bit of a homecoming for Mal Parker.
Right, Mal Parker from Tasmania. Good for him. Is he from Hobart specifically?
He's from Hobart.
Nice.
Mal is just another example of the kind of world-class crew that Billy's helped me put together. One of the best spinnaker trimmers in the world,
Right.
And you saw why out there as we got through this race without tearing a kite, which is some kind of accomplishment.
So, Bill, what was your favourite moment on board during the race?
Getting up after the rough conditions probably had subsided a little bit, and we had some really bluebird sailing, and at night, seeing the Southern Cross for the first time was kind of a thrill
Nice.
for me, also, we put a big lead on these guys, and that's always kind of the fun part.
Came in handy when we parked up for 5 hours.
Yeah.
West-
So it's just, just sailing with this team, it's just a thrill for me. Every time I get out there with these guys, I have an amazing experience.
And your worst moment?
Probably just, you always have a couple moments of asking yourself these existential questions of like, why are we
Why
out
am I
here?
doing
What
this?
are we doing? And, that's sort of, if you want to do this kind of racing, that's sort of where you push yourself to the edge.
Right.
That's kind of why we kind of do it, don't you think?
Yeah.
How about you, Jim?
I mean, best part, honestly, was probably coming into the dock and seeing all our wives and girlfriends and kids in some cases on the dock welcoming us here. Best sailing part, it's tough to beat the start in Sydney Harbor. I mean, what a spectacle. You can't hear anybody else talking because there's half a dozen helicopters flying around and you're busy dodging 100-footers, and it's just an incredible experience. Worst part, there is that the kind of the dark moments in the middle of the night where you're launching off 20+ foot waves and crashing down on the other side. You're just hoping the boat doesn't break on the next wave. But again, best part about this team is you have people who have seen much worse and been through much worse, and you're calm because they're calm. And so there was never a moment where I felt like we were at risk or we were taking unacceptable risk, is maybe a better way to put it.
Right.
These guys are all about walking that fine line between performance and risk, and I trust them implicitly. And so I don't know if there was a bad moment. Parking up for 5 hours in Storm Bay was pretty unpleasant. Watching the rest of the fleet erode our lead.
So, can I ask, why did you park up?
There was no wind.
Right.
for 5
But everybody
hours.
else just trundled on
There
slowly?
was a hole in the bay,
Right.
but great wind on the outside. And we were the 8th boat around the corner, and the rest of the fleet just sailed right up on us doing
Right.
15 knots. And so you're sitting there watching the race tracker,
And you can't
watching
get
the
out
lead
there
go. I
'cause you
think our
can't
lead
start your
was
engine.
40 miles.
Yeah, we
And
have
we
a
sailed into the
30-mile
hole,
lead.
and then we were a mile ahead of the guys when we got out of the hole.
Right.
Although we then built the lead back up to 6-7 miles because they had to do their turn in the barrel.
So, I don't know off the top of my head, I did read it. What was your position on line honours?
So we were 8th on line honors and 1st in Division 1 corrected.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. So I'm told they're going to do some kind of announcement today on final results potentially.
Yeah, I think the results in Division 1 are final because
Great.
everybody's finished.
Yep.
The overall looks like it's going to be a small boat year, but look, that's incredible for the sport.
Right.
You don't get a 130 boat fleet by big boats dominating this kind of event. That's why handicap systems exist.
Right.
So it's great to see the kind of participation and to have a small boat. And in fact, I think maybe a double-handed boat win overall could be just an incredible boon for the
That'd be
entire
great,
sport.
wouldn't it? Yeah, bring more people in. And so, Bill, no sail tears. That's a testament to your
No, the
sail
sails,
making.
We had a few new sails on the boat and some old ones, and we made a few decisions about which sails to take because we knew it was going to be a tough race, and the sail inventory came through amazingly well, and the boat performed like a champ. It was pretty impressive. That was one of the impressive parts of the race, is how well. And our boat was, we spent a week and a half prepping this boat, and the boat was ready to go.
Did you sail her over from California, or is she here all the time, as
Yeah,
in
the boat's
Australia?
been in New Zealand for the
Right.
last year. So we did the King's Cup in Thailand 2 years ago after the Hong Kong to Vietnam race. Then the boat was delivered by ship to Auckland. We did a tune-up race in the fall from Auckland to Russell, New Zealand, Coastal Classic, and then the short crew delivered her on the bottom over the Tasman Sea to Sydney. And then we did, I think a week and a half of training in Sydney immediately before the race, which was all really time well spent. And that doesn't count the hours and hours and hours the short crew put into
For sure.
stiffening the hull and waterproofing the boat again.
Right.
That's kind of a constant task with these boats.
So what next? You're back on shore. What's in store for the rest of the week?
Next for the boat.
For yourselves, the boat.
So this boat is going to take a little bit of a breather. I think she'll probably see the Coastal Classic a year from now in Auckland. But Bill and I are both off to other boats and other sailing adventures.
So just keep sailing, as they say.
Back to the bay and
Right.
doing some local racing there for a while. Hopefully, maybe just get to the mountains and get some skiing in. Because usually I'm skiing this time
Instead
of
of being down here, where actually in the days leading up to your arrival, it was cold.
year. Yes.
It was
I'm
very
looking-
Californian.
I'm looking forward to getting to Coconut Grove in Miami and
Oh, yeah.
sailing the Bacardi series and J70s for the next couple of months. That'll
Nice.
be a very relaxing, nice way with a warm shower waiting for you after every day racing, which
Great.
we certainly didn't have on this boat.
I can only imagine. And I'd never want to experience it, to be honest. I've done one mild storm and that'll do me. Thank you. Great. Well, thank you both for the chat. Appreciate your time and thanks for reading Latitude. And
you.
look forward to seeing you again. Good luck with
Absolutely.
everything.
Thank you very much.
All right, thanks.
Cheers.
Bye-bye.